Hello, this is my Dismantling Stereotypes in Film assignment on the fundamentals of caring. The fundamentals of caring follows Ben, a writer who retired after a personal tragedy, and Trevor, an 18-year-old boy with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, as they navigate their relationship and embark on a cross-country road trip. This movie does provide an accurate portrayal of muscular dystrophy. There is an early diagnosis at the age of 3 for the main character, Trevor. Muscular dystrophy usually affects boys, and common symptoms include muscle pain and stiffness, muscle weakness that worsens over time, trouble breathing, as well as trouble swallowing. All of these are depicted in the film with Trevor's stretching routine, his use of a power wheelchair, his CPAP machine that he uses for sleeping, and his favorite, if not problematic, prank of pretending to choke to scare his caregivers. For the psychosocial stigma analysis, Hayes and Black mention a pattern of confinement, followed by hope for rehabilitation, the denial of rehabilitation, and the subsequent reconciliation with confinement. This pattern is partially depicted in Fundamentals of Caring. Steps 1 and 2 are present, with Trevor spending most of his time at home watching TV. And then the hope for rehabilitation comes in when his caregiver, Ben, suggests a road trip. The denial of rehabilitation is missing from this film, although there is sort of a subsequent reconciliation with confinement as Trevor returns home after the road trip. There's also the element of overcoming confinement that the disability creates being the more central aspect to the plot rather than the actual disability itself or the social stigmas placed on people with disabilities. Next, we have the stereotype of the maladjusted disabled person, as Longmore put it in his 2003 paper. Trevor and Ben have a confrontation about the idea of taking a road trip where this dynamic plays out. Trevor uses some of Ben's personal issues to confront Ben, and Ben in turn calls Trevor self-centered and puts blame on Trevor for the confinement that he experiences. After this, Trevor has a change of heart and decides that the road trip is in order and they should proceed. One last element of stigma I wanted to touch on was the element of sexual stigma that Longmore points out in his paper. Longmore notes that films often dismiss the sexuality of people with disabilities, but in Fundamentals of Caring, Trevor is portrayed with sexual desire that's not deviant, and he does have a love interest in the film. Dot. Effects on individuals. I do think the Fundamentals of Caring did a good job of portraying Trevor as a person with a sense of humor, and the portrayal felt very realistic. It does perpetuate some stereotypes about people with disabilities being bitter or centering a character who does not have a disability like Ben, the caretaker. As for the learning experience, I have learned to use person-first language, consider the role of caregivers, take into consideration the social and emotional needs of students with disabilities, and to recognize that about 1/3 of students with Duchenne muscular dystrophy do encounter learning difficulties. So that's something to be aware of as a teacher moving forward. Here are my references, and thank you so much for watching.